Welcome back to another daily news analysis by APSC. Today is 13th of March 2023 and this is the list that we'll be covering today. Let's begin. So the first one, we would like to begin with the Prime Minister's office when he paid homage to Bapu and all those who took part in Dandi March. Now Dandi March started from 12th of March. Okay. 1930, right? So yesterday PM paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi, right? So Dandi March, also called as Salt March or Salt Satyagraha, was a major non-violent protest action in India led by Mahatma Gandhi in March, that is 12th March to April 1930, and it was the first act of civil disobedience, that is Satyagraha. Now the concept behind or the logic behind the march was that salt production and distribution in India had been a very good business for the British and they controlled the salt production and distribution, therefore having a monopoly. Through a series of laws, of course, there were a series of laws controlling the Indian population from prohibiting them from producing or selling salt independently. So what happened? Because of these laws by British, Indians were required to buy expensive, heavily taxed salt that often was imported. So the British sold the products to themselves and they bought the products for Indians. So that was the monopoly. Then because of this, the protest started by Mahatma Gandhi against salt tax. It began in 19th century, meaning this one, the years, and then it was a contentious issue throughout the period of British rule in the country. Okay, this is about the Salt March, and it is a very important event in our nation's history, right? Because it was the first act of civil disobedience. And from Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, we have this DIVYA Kala MELA, that is for 10 days, which will be organized, which have already started from 12th March and it will continue till 21st March in Bhopal Hat, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Now around 150 Divyang means people with disabilities, artisans and artists and entrepreneurs from 21 states will showcase their unique products and skills. Okay. Now the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. They are organizing it under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and the department has like plans to promote the concept, and it would be organized every year, and it would not be limited to Delhi, Mumbai or bigger cities, but also across the country. Okay. Then from Prime Minister's office, again we have this news. PM Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman, PM VIKAS. Okay. So this is to, this is for the people who comes from the farming background or women, youth, tribals, Dalits, right? So they will have this webinars on the budget, okay, and to make them to develop their skills and also talents across the people, crores of people in India through Skill India Mission and skill development centers. They will be given knowledge or webinars like Vishwakarma. You could understand from the word Vishwakarma, the Lord of Machines and everything. So this is for that idea, that Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman Yojana, or simply PM VIKAS, is a scheme in terms to attract all the skillful people in the country, be they be from any background, right? That was on PM VIKAS. You can definitely check this scheme for your examination point of view. And from Ministry of Defense, we have Maritime Partnership Exercise, MPX, with French Navy, right? So INS Sahyadri is participating in the exercise with French Navy. FS Dixmude, right, in the Arabian Sea, which already happened from 10th to 11th March. All right. Then we have to talk about this AUKUS Deal. What is this AUKUS Deal? Now, AUKUS Deal is a trilateral security partnership between Australia, the UK, and the US. So, AUKUS, right? And with this deal, the AUKUS partnership was announced in 2001 September, right? But the deal is to provide nuclear power submarines to Australia. Okay, now currently only 6 countries have nuclear fueled submarines. One of them is us, the Indians, the US, UK, France, Russia, and China. So with this deal, Australia would become the 7th country in the world that will have nuclear fueled submarines, right? So that is the AUKUS deal. Now AUKUS deal is to engage more deeply with the Indo-Pacific, particularly to counter China in the region. Okay. Then from international news, Li Qiang has been named as China's new premier. Now in China, the hierarchy works this way. Particularly, they have a president and they have a premier, right? So the premier controls the state council, and since China is a one-party nation, so it is basically the administrative head. So a premier is the admin head of the country. Okay, so Li Qiang has been appointed by President Xi Jinping as the new premier. All right. Then on the other side, we have UN observes first Anti-Islamophobia Day. Now this observation or this notice by UN General Assembly, they have marked March 15. In the resolution 2022, they took a resolution in 2022 that March 15 would be Anti-Islamophobia Day. Okay, from March 15 of 2023. Okay, so in 2 days time. All right. Then from the nation's news, we have this buildings to set to achieve net zero waste. Now all the upcoming societies and commercial complexes in the country, they will have to have mandatorily ensure that net zero waste and their liquid discharge, that means their sewage, has to be treated as per the union government's push for reforming and modernizing the sewage disposal system. Now we know in India we are having you could say a crisis regarding waste disposal, particularly in the bigger cities, right? You can see in the city of Guwahati as well, it has become like a dustbin, the whole of city, because of the exposed drains and a lot of waste, a lot of plastics in the drains, right? So this has been a challenge for a lot of governments to end, they want to end manual scavenging, but then there's no other way also to clean in a sustainable manner. So now all the upcoming societies and commercial complexes in the country have to have their liquid waste treated, and then their waste, that is the solid waste, has also been segregated, and that leads to zero waste, meaning they have to reduce, reuse, and recover. Okay, so the 3 R's. Okay, and this is towards the SDC, Sustainable Development Goal. Okay, you can read this news for more details, but I'm just giving you the brief idea on what this new rule or new implementation report has been given. Now again, Railways also has issued SOP, that is Standard Operating Procedure, to ensure the transportation of arms and ammunition by train and road. Okay, now this SOP is to ensure the safety of such consignments and their escort personnel, right? because arms and ammunition of security forces have always been an attraction for the anti-national or anti-social elements, right? So there will be more to protect arms, ammunition and other explosive and prevent it from falling into the hands of anti-social elements. So it is essential for an armed escort with adequate number of personnel during the transit. Okay, so in the new SOP, additional armed security escort personnel drawn from RPF and RPSF will be deployed. Okay, and senior officers would conduct an analysis based on the possible threats. Right. So this interesting thing from Hindu, we have taken glow scope. Right. Now we have to go back. This is a very nice article given in a very planned manner. So in 2014, a group of scientists at Stanford University, okay, they released a microscope called Foldscope. Okay, Foldscope, F-O-L-D, scope, Foldscope. Okay, and it was a handheld microscope. Handheld. Okay, so and it was made out of paper, entirely out of paper. Right, and to make them into a full microscope, it took only 30 minutes to make it as a full microscope. Because it was made of paper, to set it up, it only took 30 minutes, and it could capture a lot of images of cells, and and this Foldscope has been an important discovery or important invention for the world to access to optical microscopy. Okay, now University of Minnesota or Uniona State University in Minnesota have created a design for a glow scope, right, that could give access to fluorescence microscope. You can see the image, so you could see a lot of cells or anything in fluorescent pattern. Okay, because this will absorb, reflect and scatter visible light, right, and it views an object. A fluorescent microscope views an object by studying how it remits light that has absorbed. That is how it fluoresces. That is the basic principle behind the fluorescence microscope. Now, I'm not going into the detail of the process of how it goes about or how you can see illuminated objects. You can read it, but why did they observe particularly? We have to understand. So with this setup, the researchers were able to image the creature's brain, spinal cord, right, heart and head and jaw bones. So you can see the practical implementations of why it is important, okay, in particular towards the health sector. It could be very useful, and they were able to zoom in and zoom out with using the smartphone camera. See, very easily they can access to these images by just using a smartphone. And this whole microscope, the costing also they have given it here very nicely, right? Now this is the practical implications. Now is the glow scope truly accessible to the world? It is here. The Foldscope was a very revolutionary idea, right? A microscope made out of paper, right? And this glow scope, can it be purchased online, or can it have that scope, right? So this is debating on this. So therefore, obviously, there is a huge potential for glow scope, right? And if this glow scope is devised, then scientists are planning to use it to schools. So you can imagine, what it would do in the field of microbiology and zoology, etc., right? And particularly in the health sector, what it can do. Okay. Then again from Hindu article, we have taken this, the rise of ESG regulations. Now we have heard about CSR, right? CSR is corporate social responsibility. That is very much needed in the Indian context, because a lot of companies have to follow a CSR mandate, that is to the welfare of the society, right? And this CSR was codified into law with 2014 and 2021 amendments in the Companies Act of 2013, right? So now it's mandated by law for the companies to have CSR, or corporate social responsibility, that is to tribute the welfare of the society. Now ESG on the other hand is a little different in process and impact, but the principle is the same, but it's a little different. How? For example, the UK Modern Slavery Act, right? It's an ESG. So it requires company to businesses in UK and whose annual sales is more than 36 million pound. They have to publish efforts that they have taken steps or identified and analyzed the risk of human trafficking, child labor, and debt bondage in their supply chain. So it is more detailed. Now ESG is nothing but environment, social and governance regulation. CSR, corporate social responsibility, right? Social responsibility. Now ESG is not just social, it is also environmental and governance, okay, regulation. So they have to see in more detail, like whether there is a risk of human trafficking or child labor or debt bondage, and how this are identified as risk has to be published. In CSR, you just give money, or you can spend some of your proceedings to the welfare of the society without even understanding the risk or analyzing the risk involved. But in ESG, you have to go in a much detailed way, right? You have to see that their supply chain of a company is not affecting the environment or not affecting the people, right? And how is it aligned with the governance or laws, okay? So because of this ESG, a lot of companies in India, that is 1,000 largest listed companies in India, have revised their annual business responsibility and sustainability report, that is BRSR. So they have to revise their responsibility and sustainability report. Now with this, when the government will give emphasis on ESG, it could see India's more active role in global climate forums, right? As well as in policy developments, okay? And such as the announcement in January by Reserve Bank of India that it would be auctioning rupees 80 billion in green bonds. So the concept of green bonds, we know. So this will help in auctioning of green bonds, like that, right? So compliance with ESG regulation, both in India and elsewhere around the country, poses significantly different challenge than India's CSR regulation. Of course, like I mentioned, it is more detailed, more analytical than CSR, okay? This is done to, so that the companies and, when they have this ESG regulation, they do not have to be questioned furthermore in terms of like CSR. CSR, you can give an amount, and like I mentioned, you can give an amount, then you could show that it is going for social responsibilities or social welfare. But then in ESG, you actually have to do much more detailed work, right? And this is more scrutinized, okay? So if a company complies, they will have more benefits. They can auction off their green bonds, and then play a prominent role in the global supply and the global marketplace overall in terms of global economy. And finally, from the sports section, Birsa Munda, which is the world's largest hockey, has been announced as such by Guinness World Record, Guinness Book, right? So this is Orissa CM Navin Patnaik receiving the certificate for the world's largest hockey stadium. Recently also we had Assam CM receiving the world's what I have given in DNC. You can look down that one also, right? Then Vihaan, this person, I would say a boy, Vihaan Reddy, he has won the first ITF title. Okay. ITF title is International Tennis Federation title for juniors, right? He have won the title on his maiden appearances. So congratulations, and he would definitely rise in the future. Then on the other side we have this person who is a senior manager operations of NTPC Bongaigaon, Deepak. He has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Now where is Mount Kilimanjaro? It is in Africa, and it is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Okay, so he was with a team of 6 members from India, including one first female vegan to climb Mount Everest in 2022, this person Prakriti Varsne. So congratulations to Mr. Deepak. He had completed a trek of 60 kilometers at 5,895 meters, that is 19,341 feet. Okay, that's the climb, right? And Mount Kilimanjaro is a snow-capped peak of Africa. So don't imagine that Africa does not have snow. It has snow as well, and it is a dormant volcano, and it is found inside Kilimanjaro National Park of Tanzania. Okay, so where is Mount Kilimanjaro? In Africa. Africa where? Tanzania. Okay, so with this I come to the end of today's news analysis. You can definitely join us in our Telegram, and also if you're interested, you can join our study circle for more personal interactive discussions and MCQ tests and interview practices and seminars by civil servant, so that you have the motivation to carry on and improve yourself better, right? So thank you for joining this session. We'll see you soon.